Everybody, hopefully you had a wonderful weekend and you've been enjoying as we approach the end of summer. So we got a lot of stuff to cover today. We got some new stuff, we got some review, and got some ideas for you to move forward. So here we go. First thing is we really leverage the power of attorney. So let me see an answer to this. How many people's power of attorney is wrong? If they're a United States citizen and part of the Social Security system, how many of the people we get in front of is their power of attorney wrong? You guys are so smart. You're all saying 100% of the time. No, Charles, not most of them. Gosh, all of them. Everybody else is getting it all right. All of them, all of them, all of them. Charles, you need to call Jeff or call myself so we can help you understand why it's 100% of people's power of attorney is wrong. Now, I go over with you how to fix the power of attorney when it comes to Social Security, and it's all in the manual how to do this. But Missy's done a great job because the power of attorney for the IRS is a little bit different, and Missy put together a little tutorial for you about, what is it, Missy, about 10-minute tutorial on how to fix it for the IRS. It's not that big a deal. I'm sorry, just about 10 minutes?
Yep.
Good. So it's about, and it's not that big a deal, but then once you know how to fix it, it's fixed for good. So go ahead and take a look at that. So I want to talk about one thing that I think we don't talk about enough with our folks, and it's actually really leveraged in our new workshop that we have for the healthcare and your wealth, and that is the National Center of Health Statistics says that today a 65-year-old man can expect to live another 18.5 years. So, I'm sorry, not man. 65-year-old can expect to live another 18.5 years. So it's a combined male-female. So what's the importance of that, guys? What's the importance of that? There's two important things. Y'all stumped, or y'all typing in? It's a long time in retirement, Cheryl, exactly right. A long time for two reasons. You both got it. Nick got it and Cheryl got it. So long time in retirement, is going to be I'm going here. That's a problem for two reasons. One is our money needs to last longer, and will our health care go up, costs go up, or go down, the fact that we're living longer? Go up. So that's exactly why it's a problem. So the U.S. Census says the average U.S. citizen becomes a widow or a widower at age 58 and a half, which is a lot earlier or later than most people think. It's a lot earlier. So people get hit with a double whammy. They end up with less sooner than we thought. Why would they end up with less sooner than they thought? What do I mean by that? How do they end up with less? If they lose a spouse, how do they end up with less? Yeah, they lose the Social Security benefits. And living with less much longer than they thought. So double whammy is they end up with less sooner than they thought, and are living much longer than they thought. So they're going to be living much longer with less. So how many, do you emphasize that in your 21-point checklist? How many people think about that? I know, and most people don't think about it. Why? Because this is a fun or a not a fun thing to think about. Now, living longer, that's a fun thing to think about. But living longer without our spouse, not a fun thing to be thinking about. Living longer without our spouse and our spouse's income, even worse to be thinking about. But as financial advisors, what's our job to do? To paint only the good, paint only the bad, or we have to paint both the good and the bad? Which one? Yeah, the good and the bad. So please make sure, because if they do this, how many people have a plan for this, do you think? How many people have a plan for losing their spouse's Social Security income? Yeah, very few. In fact, I would say how many, other than very few? I'd say probably zippo. So what's our plan for this? What's our plan to help them with the loss of their Social Security income of their spouse? Mike's got it. We have two different plans for them. One is the TRIP, which is a guaranteed universal life, and the other is the one-way, which is what the new seminar is about, which is the hybrid long-term care life insurance policy. So how many people have had this presented to them, either a guaranteed universal life or a hybrid lifelong term care to take care of these two problems? when we run across people, how many do you think advisors who are out selling AUM and only AUM are taking care of this for them, or at least presenting this to them? Yeah, I'd agree with you, Nick. None. Nobody. So is this a unique selling proposition that we have for people? Is this something that we can differ ourselves from everybody else out there? Is this something that people are going to be interested in? Do you think people are going to be interested in this once they know the problem? If they don't know the problem, that's not it's not going to work. But do you think most people have thought about living longer without their spouse and their spouse's income? Most people haven't, and it's our job to present that. Not only the problem, but then the what? Not just the problem, but then the what? Solution. Exactly, Wade. Solution. So please don't forget this. I think we kind of, with everything that's going on with the 21-point checklist and learning the scripts, etc., I know that there's a lot on your plate, but this is a fundamental thing that we do that how many other advisors do? Virtually none. Make sense? So we want to make sure that we're talking about that. A lot of people said wanted to go over the advantages and disadvantages of the 3 guaranteed marketing we have again. So I want to do it one more time for you because we had a lot of requests for that. So the healthcare, wealth, and income event, which again revolves right around that lifelong term care hybrid presentation or solution. So that's ours, and then we've got the eye to eye, which is guaranteed appointments in your office, and then we have the white glove, which is the guaranteed attendance scenario. So let's go through the guarantee again. So with ours, you get an $80 per RSVP to a max of 4,000, which means to a max of 50 RSVPs. That means if you get 80, how many people did you get for free? Make sure people understand this. 30, exactly, Wade. So then we have the eye to eye, and the guarantee is get it in front of at least $1 million of investable assets. And then the white glove is you tell them how many households you want, and then they can't bill you for more than 20% more than that. And what's the minimum with that again, Missy? Minimum amount of households that they can order?
Yep. So you need to have at least 20 households split out between the 2 sessions, so 10 per session. So 20, basically you're on the hook for 24.
We have a question, RSVPs. Healthcare, wealth, and income is reservations. White glove is attendees. See, do you see the difference? You're going to get way more people here, but they're RSVPs. You're going to get less people here, but you're only being charged per attendees. Everybody get that? The difference between the two? Now, what was I going to say there? Oh, so if the minimum is 20, what's the most household attendees they could get you billed for, since it's plus 20? Wade got his high math skill hat on. Yep, so does Jonathan. 24, exactly. So even though you order 20, the most they could bill you for is up to 24. So if you got, what if you got 40 people? What if they did it and they got 40 people in there, Missy? How would that work?
So you still are only on the hook for whatever you requested, but you do sign off saying that those other buying units, so let's just say that there was 20 extra buying units, are off limits. That means you cannot solicit those. Those actually go back to White Glove. White Glove will assign those to a different advisor. You have the first right of refusal, so if you say, well, geez, I saw 40 buying units in there and I was super impressed with them, I'll go ahead and I'm willing to purchase all the rest of them. You have the first right of refusal to say, nah, I'm just going to stick with the 20, the 24 that I'm held accountable for. I'll pay for those 24, and I'm willing to sign off saying I'm not going to touch, I'm not going to communicate with the extra 20.
So Greg's asking, how do you differentiate between the 20, 24? Do you get to cherry pick who you want?
They just go off of the last ones that signed in, so it's just kind of a luck of the draw. So whoever were the last 20 units that signed in are the 20 that they will mark off and say, nope, you can't have these 20. So they just go with the order that they actually signed into the program.
So no cherry picking.
24, no cherry picking.
And then what do they have, if they ordered 20 and 40 people come, do they have to buy all 40, or can they say, well, I can only afford 30 right now, so I'm going to bump it from 20 to 30?
Exactly. You can buy whatever amount that you want above and beyond what you had previously requested, all the way up to anything or everything that showed up.
Cool. And guys, remember they have 3 workshops. They have the Social Security, they have the taxation, and they have the new whatever it is, financial planning one. I'm just going to give you the retirement one. I'm going to give you my 2 bits. I don't like the retirement one because there's no hook there. It's going to be hard to get people to come in because how many advisors are offering general financial planning advice? I want to see answers to that. All of them are. That's right. And that's all that workshop is about. And it's also not tested. So the one that I like is the taxation one because who comes to taxation, who comes to learn about how to reduce their taxes? People with what? Money. People with money. So that's the one I like. And you're offering them a taxation report. So that's why we've had guys do the taxation one, and they've made lots of appointments. So I have a good track record with that one. I like the Social Security one, but with the Social Security one, you're going to get poor people and people with some money and people with a lot of money. You're going to get all of them. But the taxation one, you're only going to get people with money, so it's the one that I like. And also, it's because I've had 3 guys use it, and all 3 were able to get lots of appointments with the taxation one. So that's the one that I like. You can take that or leave it for what it's worth, but that's the one that I like, okay? So what's interesting, now we get back to the other differences. Location, restaurant required. Why do I like restaurants? I'm going to yell at somebody who gives me the wrong answer too. Why do I like restaurants? Ah, Jonathan got it. Slows them down, Greg. Yeah, you guys all got it. So that we can have more time to make the appointments. Exactly right. Eye to eye, the location's in your office, and White Glove is going to be at more of a non-profit library community center, which is fantastic, except you're going to end up doing what to get the appointments? What are you going to end up doing a lot more to get the appointments? Calling afterwards, because they're all going to bolt. Because here's the thing, even if you're fantastic, even if you're really super interested, have you ever been at church and the pastor gives a fantastic I would say speech. His sermon is fantastic. It really touches you, and you want to tell him thank you so much. And then so you're going to line up after him, and then there's 3 people in front of you. Remember, this is Sunday morning. You only get 2 days off a week. It's Sunday morning. There's 3 people in front of you. One person starts having a conversation with the pastor. What do you do? Even if you thought it was awesome. Yeah, he said, I'll deal with it later. I'll tell him later, and then, but really, what happens at that point? Once you get in your car, what's happened to that whole feeling that you need to talk to the pastor? Gone. So, again, the guys that have done really well at the Library Community Center have done a fantastic job, not of getting the appointments there. Yeah, they've got a few appointments there, but they've done a fantastic job of chasing these people by calling them and getting the appointments. With the restaurant, where do you get those appointments? Right then and there at the restaurant. So you see there's a difference. Hey, here you got to feed them. Here you don't. Here you're going to get some plate liquors. Here you're going to get some information liquors. Is there a difference between plate liquors and information liquors? No, same old, same old. But you're going to have to be a good caller here, and and when do you have to call these folks, guys? Next day. Next day. Okay. So that's the difference here. Advantage and disadvantages, advantages and disadvantages. In your office, that's fantastic, but we'll talk about the disadvantage eye to eye here at the very end. Sessions, 2, not applicable, 2. So mailing, you're going to get do 2 seminars, and White Glove, you're going to do 2 seminars. Mailing method, direct mail for eye to eye, and they do it via digital marketing, all sorts of digital marketing, from Facebook to Google AdWords to all sorts of things. RSVP center, yep. No show? Yes. So no shows. Why is it important to get that no show information? What are you going to do with it? Get them on that epidemic marketing right away. RSVP cost $4,000. That's the most you'll ever pay for the health care and your wealth and income. So you're capped there with the eye to eye, $39.50. But with this, with the White Glove, remember you can get up. You can tell them how much you want to pay. Right now it's $6,000. If you've sent in your, what do they call that thing, Missy?
It's
to Natalie?
the host agreement.
If you send in your host agreement, when's the D-Day on that?
It's August 15th, so that would be next Tuesday.
And do they have to, even if they send the host agreement in, do they then have to do a white glove?
Nope, the host agreement does not lock you into doing an event with white glove at all. It simply locks in the price if you opt to do one between now and the end of the year.
Now you said at 9/1. I thought it was 8/15.
8/15, their host agreement has to be in by, and then that will give them that price all the way through. Yep, all the way through the end of the year. 9/1 is when their prices officially will change from $250 to $275 for the taxes and retirement presentation, which is the one that we're recommending.
So your cost will go up by $600. So guys, whether you want to do white gloves or not, if you're 50/50, if you're 40/60, if you're 30/70, what should you at least do about doing one? What should you at least do? Send in that agreement, because then they're locked. You're locked. See, here's the great thing. They're locked in to giving you the cheaper price, and it's $600. That's real money. But are you locked in to actually doing one? Oh, that's right, and Greg brings up, plus the $500 coupon. So guys, that's a double whammy. So you're saving yourself $1,100. So thanks for bringing that up, Greg. So please, please, please send in that agreement if there's even a tiny chance that you may do one, because that's a sad thing. Missy, are they going to listen to anybody whining and crying on 8/16 and say, I meant to, I shoulda, I coulda, woulda, when they gave us a full month's chance to get those agreements in?
Nope, they're going to be pretty hardcore that if it's not signed by 8/15, you're not locked into that price.
So get it in, okay? So let's see here. Food costs, you're going to feed them with the health, wealth, and again, we're using middle-of-the-road restaurants. Don't have to feed them for the eye-to-eye. And we just recommend cookies and coffee or cookies and juice for the white glove. Room or gift card costs, 0 for the eye-to-eye because you're feeding them. If you get an average of 6 people, you're going to pay $600 for the eye-to-eye, and $300 for you're going to pay one time to buy the PowerPoint presentation for white glove, one time. So you don't have to keep doing just one-time costs. Average cost, $5,250, $4,550, $6,000 plus $300 if you get it locked in before August 15th. So eye-to-eye is the lowest. Why wouldn't we all do eye-to-eye? Well, I think we all should do eye-to-eye as soon as you what? See, the answer is this. I think we should all do eye-to-eye as soon as we what? Master the 21. Because with the health, with the healthcare wealth and your wealth and income, you can be just good at the 21-point checklist and have a good success rate. But with the eye-to-eye, you need to have that mastered because you have fewer people. You're talking about 6 people versus 20 buying units. You have 6 people versus 15 buying units. So with the white glove, you can be just good. With the healthcare and your wealth and income, you can be just good and still not have a lot of danger of not getting at least a 3-to-1 return on investment. So you spend $6,000 and make an $18,000. You spend $5,000 and make $15,000. So you don't have to worry about that as much. But here, you can spend $45.50, and if you haven't mastered the 21-point checklist, you could end up with a Zippo. If you do 2 of these, you'll end up with somebody, which that means if you spend $9,000, you'll end up making 16, 18 grand. If you're not good at the 21-point checklist. Now, if you're good at the 21-point checklist, you're talking about bringing in, you know, between 500 and our average is 1.9 million, not 1 million. So you're talking about bringing in between 500 and probably we've seen people bring up to $1.5 million from these. So that's only though if you're what? Have that mastered. So let's see, we got a question here. Can you review the expectation of the lead when the attendees each of 3? Well, the expectation here is that they're going to come in and learn about the one-way product, the lifelong term care. We call it the lifestyle protection strategy. Lifestyle protection strategy, which is essentially the lifelong term care hybrid. They're going to come in for that. The eye-to-eye, they're coming in for a portfolio review. And the white glove, they're coming in to have their taxation run, if you use the taxes one, their taxation run through software. What are we going to do at all 3 of these meetings, the first meeting? What are we going to do with all 3 of these first meetings? In order to find the best lifestyle protection strategy for them, what do we need to do? Gather the info so that we can do a 21. The eye to eye, in order to give them a portfolio review, what are we going to do? Gather the info to do a 21. With the white glove, in order to run their taxes through the software, what are we going to do? Gather information to do 21. So how different is the first meeting going to be for all three of these? I want everybody to answer this. Got one right answer, Wade. Dale's right. Dale's right. Jonathan's right. Bud's right. Abram's right. Jerry's right. Yeah, everybody's saying it's basically the same thing, and very, very little difference. So in order to find the best, guys, to find them the best life long-term care or health strategy, does everybody have the same amount of money? Everybody the same age? Everybody the same health? Everybody have the same needs? No. So what we need to do is what? Gather information to find them the best solution for that. Eye to eye, in order to portfolio review, what do we need to do? Gather the information, find them the best solution for their portfolios. Taxation, what do we need to do? Gather the information to find them to make sure we can pay the least amount of tax as possible. And anybody that's worried about taxation, what are they also worried about? Are they only worried about paying taxes to the government, or are these people who are cost conscious? So is there any difference to somebody who's worried about how much tax they're paying and reducing taxes than if paying too much in fees to the people who are managing their money? Same thing. And over here with the healthcare, wealth, and income, anybody who's worried about having a spouse die and leave the other spouse that has much income, or having the ability to pay for long-term care without expensive premiums. So any of those people, are they going to be interested in all the other things the 21-point checklist does? So is anybody going to be disappointed with the 21-point checklist with any of these three? No. So does that answer the question? It's not that no matter what you do, first meeting is going to be basically the same thing. Okay? So any more questions on this? Are we good on this? Everybody understands? And please, 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 no matter which one of these you're going to do, at least send in your agreement with White Glove, just in case you want to do that down the road. Okay, so I want to talk about another little marketing plan that we have, and I want to. It's designed around life changes. When you think about it, college planning is fantastic because there's life changes. All of a sudden, they're going to have to pay 50 grand a year for the next 4 years to pay for their child's college. I love college planning, except that you don't make any money doing it. It's a lot of work for very little money. It's very hard to monetize, but at least it gets people off the dime, right? Because there's a huge life change. Can't really monetize it, so I don't recommend it. I don't do it and never have done it because it's just very hard to make money doing it. Just a lot of work for very little money. But it's a life change. It's easy to get people in front of people. Getting in front of people and making money is two totally different things, but that's why I like it, life change. How about Medicaid planning? When somebody's spouse is going into a long-term care facility and they're looking at 70 grand a year cost, that's a huge life change. So again, it's easy to get people in for that and get people off the dime with that. But again, that's it can easily be monetized, but there's lots of legal problems. I've had two advisors that were reached out to me after they did this and got in trouble and actually end up getting out of the business because of the state going after them for doing the Medicaid planning. So I'm not a big fan of that. Anything that's going to get us in trouble with regulators or even come close to, I'm not a big fan of that. But do you see why people would want to sit down with you and make changes? Yeah, because there's a huge life change. But there's another life change that people make, that a lot of people make when they're retired. So not all people do it, but a lot of people do it. And and not even retirees, but other people make this change as well, and that is when they sell their house. So have any of you ever known somebody, for example, people who are retired, that they have the same furniture they bought 40 years ago, haven't changed their carpeting in 30 years, nothing's changed whatsoever, but when they downsize and move the house, what do? Move all the old furniture in? What do? They go buy new stuff. See, they've been cheapskates for 40 years, but the dam breaks when they move. And what happens is mentally, when we move, is that a little change or a big change? A big change. And when we make big changes, usually it's just not that one change. It's like, have you ever seen when somebody will buy a couch? Husbands are sometimes afraid, and I'm going to be sexist here, sorry, but I'm going to. So husbands are afraid when their wife wants to buy a couch. Why? Is she just going to buy the couch? Yeah, it spills over into other areas, John, exactly right. All of a sudden, oh, geez, we buy a new couch. Now that this new couch makes the other chairs look even older, and oh my gosh, the carpeting and all the sucks, so everything turns into a big change. So the nice thing about people moving is their whole mindset changes, and they're much more open to change. Also, if they've moved across country, what's happened? Where's their advisor? Cross country. They may need a new one. See, they're open to change. So what we're going to do is we're going to go after people who are just moved into a new house, okay? So what it is, it's a series of 3 postcards designed and set up globally by 5Q. All agents use the same postcard templates, and you see them in a second. No design setup cost to the agent. It's mailed to all new homeowners within a certain area based on whichever criteria you want. You tell them, do you only want single-family homes? Do you only want condos? Do you only want townhomes? You want all of them? My opinion is if they're buying, I don't care what they're buying, whether it's condo, townhome, or home, guess what? They have what? Moolah. Now, you can say, I only want to work with people who buy $250,000 and above houses, or $300,000 and above houses, or $115,000 and above, whatever you want to put there. You can use zip code, county, state, whatever you want for the criteria. There's no guarantee or specified number on how many per year. So what an example would be, I asked them, well, in Rochester, Minnesota, what if I wanted to do this with people in Rochester that moved to new homes in Rochester, Minnesota? They said, well, last year, that was 547 people that bought homes that were $250,000 and above. So they said, next year, we don't know if it's going to be 520 or 570. Now, what's not going to happen, though? Is it going to all of a sudden go from 547 to 1,000? No, it won't. But it could go from 547 to 560 or 547 down to 520. So it won't be exact, but it should be around the same amount. Does that make sense? Now, we're getting people who are retired, and we're also getting people who are not retired. What can we do with people who are not retired? What can we do with people who are not retired? Prep them for retirement. Maybe some of you guys don't realize this. We have a fantastic IUL presentation. So guess what you would do with those folks? You do an 21 with them. You wouldn't spend as much money on the 21 because a lot of these people maybe are not, they don't view themselves as mortal yet, but you still do a 21 to show that you're doing more than just the money, and then you're going to do an IUL presentation. The IUL presentation is a presentation that's going to make them think, man, oh man, I don't want to be putting any more money into my 401k. I'm not going to pull the money I have in my 401k out, but all future money, guess where it's going? The IUL. Because we tell them or because they're going to tell us? They tell us. So you're going to, with the new homeowner program, the young folks, you're going to do IUL with. The retired folks, you're going to do the FIA with, or the one-way presentation. Make sense? And this happens automatically. So you just every time, is it every week, Missy?
It sure is. So every Sunday they will determine who moved that previous week, and then they'll go ahead and issue those cards out then that following week.
So this is a purely autopilot program where it just happens automatically for you. Once you tell them, yes, do this, it just starts happening, and you only build as it happens. So it's a very low cost, ongoing type of background marketing. Okay? So the first postcard will be a jumbo, which is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. They're all first class with a stamp on it. The timing is, again, every Sunday is they go out, and then 30 days, and then 60 days. Make sense? So using Rochester, it would cost, with a value of two people who bought homes $250,000 or above, 3 postcards, it'd be $2.56. So over the year, it would cost $1,400, which would be about how much a month? On average, not exactly, because they're only going to bill you as it happens. It's going to be about $120 a month, $110, $120 a month. So just this ongoing thing having background, and then they give you all of this information. So what else can you do? They give you all the information. You can put them on the drip. Exactly. You start dripping on these folks. So I would be adding how many people guaranteed every year to my drip? 547. And with our drip, is it skewed specifically towards seniors? No. So it's going to work just fine. And are you guys okay with selling an IUL versus an FIA? Heck yeah. Make sense? So here's what the first postcard looks like. Stephanie, welcome to the neighborhood. We're so happy you are here. So far, does it look like it's some sort of solicitation? If you're looking for the IUL presentation, just email us and we'll get it to you. It's not on the website. So here's our welcome gift to you, our new neighbor. We put together 17 move-in tips that make your move easier. Moving is time-consuming, so we're giving you some great time savers. A new neighborhood can be unfamiliar, so we've given you some ways to make your family safer. And moving is expensive, so we've got some ways to can save you money right away. Even get a $100 gift card to your favorite local restaurant. Download the checklist we put together here for you at www.newhomechecklist.org/number. Guess who with this number identifies, guys? You, Wade, exactly, you, Cheryl. So it's going to identify you. So they're going to go to your particular website. It says, don't miss out on this $100 gift certificate. So far, does it look like it's a solicitation from somebody? No. Then they go to the landing page, and here's what the website's going to look like. Welcome to the neighborhood. See how it ties right to the postcard? Move-in checklist, dinner on us. We'd like to treat you to a $100 gift card or to a gift card for dinner at your local favorite restaurant. Click now to click to see how, and then live life large. Get your 12-page guide to living your best idea. So does this look like it's selling you anything yet? No. Now, when they click the move-in checklist, there's a really cool new homeowners checklist that Tricia and I put together. It looks pretty darn cool, and that provides a ton of great information for them. When they click the Live Life Large, it's the magic of creating your own future. This is the same guide that we give them on the benefitschecklist.org site, which is a great little thing, kind of a dream planner, a life type planner that people really, really like. But if they click the dinner on us, that's where you're going to talk about your offer. Here's how to get your $100 gift card to your local favorite restaurant. My name is Mimi Richards. I hope they blah, 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 blah. Here's how I specialize in helping people that have just moved here to qualify for benefits they're not aware that they're owed. Here's who I can help. A homeowner in Olmsted County, so whatever place you want to put there, born between 1938 and 1977. So why those dates, guys? Because I put in age 40 to age 79. You can do whatever you want there, but I put in 40 to 79 because a 40-year-old, I can. I'm happy to start showing them an IUL. And if you want to make it younger, you can, but that's where I would put in because they start to have some assets at that point and some income at that point, all the way up to 79. And that have paid federal income taxes last year. Again, I know they bought the house, but this is just a second way for us to make sure they have money. But it also, look at these two things. A homeowner, they've just bought a new home. I say, hey, you may be owed benefits. You're not aware you're owed. If you bought a home here, you're born between these, and you paid federal income tax last year. What does this start to look like I can offer them, or I'm doing for them? Finding a special what? Special program, right? Wait. So, and then it goes on and on and on. So, but this is your offer right here. Okay. Oh, there it is right there. Sorry, I was trying to read it right. It's easy to do. We'll visit for about 30 minutes. Then I'll go to work putting together a personalized report for you, and you'll get a personalized report to find out about any benefits you're owed but not receiving, and you'll get your $100 gift certificate to the restaurant of your choice. My gift to you for giving me the chance to show you the kinds of things I can accomplish for you. Then we part friends and get to visit one of the terrific restaurants in town. I reserved this offer for 5 new folks a month. Hey, I'm giving away $500, so I like to limit it. Please give my office a call, blah, 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 blah. So, of the 547 in Rochester, how many do I think would actually take me up on this? Not 547, I guarantee you that. But do I have a shot at yeah, 6, 7? I think that's right. 10, I think that's right. So not a huge, but if it's happening in the background that I'm not even lifting a finger to make it happen, it's costing me just $120 a month to get in front of 6, 7, 10 people a month that are open to change. Not a month, sorry, not a month. A year. 6, 7, 10 people a year that are open to change. At $1,400, how many of those 6, 7, 10 people would I have to sell to make this very, very worthwhile? And again, did I have to lift a finger? No. So is this a nice little thing to have running in the background along with your epidemic marketing? The epidemic marketing, you have to lift a finger, but this, you don't even have to lift a finger. It just happens. Turn it on, blink, and off it goes. Make sense? So good idea, bad idea. So based on your response to this and how many people do this will depend on whether I come up with more ideas like this. Make sense? No, they're going to call you, not a call center. They call you. The cost, what is the cost based on? It's per number of people moving. So in the example we gave was $2.56 per person per year. So it's $2.56 for 3 to send out 3 postcards automatically to do everything for you. Does that make sense? And again, Missy, did they have to choose 500 or can they choose, I mean, how do they make their choice?
So you'll basically choose the number as a starting point. You'll find out, you know, what there was in that city, and then if your budget is smaller than that, then it'll just get pared down based upon like zip code. So you'll just choose something that's, you know, smaller than the city number. You know, like I only want Northwest Rochester. Okay, well my 547 is going to go something less than 547. I'm going to guess it's maybe, you know, 300. So that's what I would try to target, is looking at what last year's numbers were, and then that would kind of give you an idea based upon what your budget was to do for the future year.
Cool. And postcard number 2 goes out 30 days. Stephanie, welcome to the neighborhood. How did the move go? Well, I hope. So this is if they missed the first postcard or didn't react to the first postcard. So you can see it's a little bit, it still has the same kind of theme, but it's a little bit different, and then we even highlight the $100 gift card even more. The third postcard, boom, we just go right for the $100. Hey, did you get your $100 gift card to the local restaurant? If not, go to here. So you see how we're getting the first one. How much is that $100 gift certificate? Oops. See how it's not primary? Second one is what? Bigger. And then the third one is what? Dude, get your $100 gift certificate. Make sense? So how do you get started? You can go to the marketing, new homeowner postcard program, and then there's the order form right there. Makes sense? So the mailing house will take care of the, once you turn that on, they're going to take care of the helping you figure out how many you want to send or what area you're going to send to, etc. And then once you turn it on, it's just going to happen. Boom, 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 boom. But then you're going to have to coordinate, because Missy and Tricia, God bless them, are going to help you put together your landing page so that it's personalized to you. So be nice to them, because this is extra work I've given them that they don't have time to do, but they're willing to do it for you. So you be very nice to them that they're willing to do this for us, okay? So, and then how do they get the number that they put on the end of that?
Yep, so once they fill in the order form, that order form will actually go to the company that's handling the postcards, and they will notify us that they need that 5-digit number. So we will issue those 5-digit numbers to you and Andy is our rep that we'll be utilizing for this program, but to you and Andy or Christian, which is another team member for him as well. And that will identify, that 5-digit code will identify you. And so we'll go ahead and issue that to you and to them so they can print and we can get your landing page set up.
We have a question, do we get the phone numbers to those people? That's a question you'll have to ask them. I don't think so, but maybe if you pay, because you're paying in that $2.56 for the 3 different, not $2.56 per, $2.56 to send out all 3, and including in there is the list cost, or them getting that list. Maybe there's a way if you pay them more, they'll also get you phone numbers. I'm not sure, Andre, but you can find out for your, you can just talk to them when you do that. Okay? So this is the order form that you'll find, and again, Opportunity Knocks is the particular mailing house. So a lot of people do this. I'll continue to come up with more ideas like this. Very few people do this, then what's the point? Because Missy and Tricia have had to put a ton, especially Missy put a ton of work into this, guys. So based on how many people do this, so based on how often we'll come up with more things that you can run in the background. So this does not replace your regular marketing, because how many people are going to get on average per month calling you? If you're lucky, how many? 1. So it's not replacing your regular marketing. It's just easy, cheap marketing you have running in the background, and you're only going to need to make 1 sale to make this thing give you a 10-to-1 return on investment, okay? Because it's costing you $1,400. How hard is it to make $14,000? How hard is it to make $14,000, guys? That's a 10-to-1 return on investment. Not hard at all. 1 person you sell, right, Mark? 1 person you sell is going to be easy to do. So the great thing about this is making money on autopilot. That's what you're looking at, okay? So just a quick, we're kind of running out of time here, but I just want to talk about the disclosure meeting for a couple of minutes, because many of you have done really, really well at locking in that disclosure meeting, except for one thing. You've locked in that disclosure meeting awesomely, but where do you keep stumbling, guys? Where do you keep, yes, motive, Wade. Motive. So let's talk about the disclosure meeting. Again, it's about being dumb, not about being smart. If you provide solutions, 9 times out of 10, they're going to take it back to the guy. So you guys are doing a great job of this. You're doing a great job of not being smart, but instead of being dumb and letting them give you this information. Some of you still answer your own questions, but you all know what you should be doing, and you're all doing a great job of that, of fixing that. You're not providing solutions. Most of you, occasionally I'll find somebody who stumbles and gives up a solution, but most of you understand you don't provide solutions. It's all about consequences. It's not about your product or theirs. You guys are doing a great job on this. You're not presenting products at that, and you're not hammering. Well, some of you are still hammering their product, and that's probably what we're going to be talking about, or that's the problem with not getting that motive. You're concentrating on how bad their product is instead of how bad their what is. Their advisor, right, Mark? It's about all the things their guy forgot to disclose. Now, did he promote the features, advantages, and benefits? How do guys sell? When they're given 60 minutes to sell a product, how many of those 60 minutes are they spending on features, advantages, and benefits? You guys, I mean, so Wade, you said 58. You're being way too generous. I agree with, in fact, 59. Mark, you guys are being way too generous. I think they spend all 60 minutes talking about features, advantage, and benefits. How often do they spend talking about the downsides to what they're selling? Oh, they have to say hello, right, Jonathan? So they spend 1 minute saying hello, and then the other 59 presenting the features, advantages, benefits. But they're not spending any time talking about the disadvantages. And really, is there a perfect investment out there, guys? Or does everything have an advantage and disadvantage? Do we go through the disadvantages with our FIA presentation? Do we go through the disadvantages with our one-way presentation? The whole presentation revolves around going through the disadvantages. We are not part of the problem. We're part of the solution. Luckily, our competitors, though, they're still out saying, look at how great my thing is, and there ain't nothing great out there. Everything has advantages and disadvantages. They leave out a lot of important things. But it's not about the things that they leave out. It's not about their advisors' mistakes. Mistakes can be forgiven, guys. Mistakes can be forgiven, and you've sat down with clients where you've shown that the people are paying fees through the nose, and they're paying too much in taxes, and they've missed that or the other thing, and then the client still does what? Goes back to their current guy. They'll forgive the guy the mistakes. We can't have it just about the mistakes. It has to be about the consequences and then the motive. But so many of you, you're doing a great job on the 21-point checklist, on the scripts, except when you get to the very end, which is the motive. And guys, we have to get the motive, but you walk like you're walking on eggshells. Keep in mind, we're never going to say a bad word about the guy, so don't worry about them protecting their guy, because we're not going to say a bad word about the guy. If you're hammering the guy, that's a problem. If you hammer the guy, if you say bad things about the guy, they're going to have a knee-jerk reaction, and they will protect their guy. The great thing about the 5Q system is, do we ever say a bad word about the guy? Do we? I want everybody to answer this. Got one no, a bunch of no's. Everybody's saying no. Okay, good. We don't say a bad word about him because we don't want that knee-jerk reaction, then protect them. We'll have the client discover for themselves that their beliefs about their advisor are. You don't tell them a thing. They need to show you, they need to explain to us, prove to us. And the great thing about this is the scripts, it's a repeating pattern. The guys that have done a really good job learning the 21-point checklist, they say, you know, the first few are hard, but the more I do, they get easier and easier. Because really, it's the same conversation. Jeff loves to say this. It's the same conversation, just repeated over and over and over. If you think about it, all of the scripts are basically the same. What's the first thing that we do, guys? What's the first thing that we do with the scripts? Ah, very good, Wade. Why is it good? We talk about the benefits of why is a power of attorney good? Why is a healthcare power of attorney good? Why is an umbrella good? Why is diversification good? Why is joint with survivorship good? Do you see, guys, every single script we start out with having the client tell us why that thing is good. Why is the variable annuity good? Why is a bond good? So the first thing we always do is cover the why good. Then the second thing is, what's the consequences if we didn't have these things? If we didn't have the joint with survivorship, what could happen? If we didn't have those things, what could happen? We talk about the consequences. Then the next thing is, and again, the consequences to create a sense of urgency and ruin the happiness of their family. And it's not about the money. The next thing is, do you have these things? So all the things, you know, for example, with bonds, they bought bonds for safety and for income, and what do they find out about bonds? Bonds are great because they provide income safety. Income safety is great. If you don't have income safety, that could cause lots of problems. Uh-oh. My bonds are what? I got 2 right answers. Come on, I need more than that. Guys, we just talked about this last week. What's going to happen with the QE? If you got any money in bonds right now, you are a bad, horrible advisor. Jeff, why am I saying that?
Well, because the Fed is going to start to put that money, they're going to start selling their bonds and putting that money back into their accounts. So before it was supply and demand. Bond prices did spectacularly well because the Fed was buying as many bonds as they could, trying to take them off the market. So when you have a big, huge demand for something and a limited supply, the prices are going to go up. But now that they're going to start being sellers, there's going to be a huge supply and no more demand, and prices are going to go down. So if you're putting your clients into bonds now, that is the absolute worst time to be doing it.
And what did we find out last week? What is the average advisor doing right now?
Buying bonds, recommending bonds to their clients.
That's right. The first 6 months of this year, they put in more than they put in all of last year, or and they creamed what they put in the previous 3 years. So when they should have been putting money in bonds, they weren't. Now, when they should be putting money in bonds, now they are. So again, that's just an example of people who thought, yeah, we say, why are bonds good? Income safety. What would be the problem if we didn't have income safety? Lots of problems. Oh my gosh, you don't have what? Income and safety with these bonds. And then we go to what? Why did this happen? What was the motive? Why did this happen? And there's actually three different things, motives that the advisor could have. What are those 3 things? Well, number 1, he didn't know any better. Number 2, he didn't care. And number 3, he did it on purpose. In the end, does it really matter for the client? Dollars and cents wise, does it matter? If it wasn't done, it wasn't what? Done. But emotionally, does it matter? Whether it was didn't know, didn't care, or did it on purpose. How much emotionally does it matter? Huge. If he didn't know, because he didn't understand, didn't know a form existed, didn't know how to do that technique, didn't know it was his job. For example, with a power of attorney, he just didn't know that was part of his job. He didn't know anything was wrong with the power of attorney. He didn't know there would be a problem getting that money out. Didn't know. Does that help the client? No, it doesn't. But in the end, if you don't have them assigned a mode, they're going to think, oh, well, not really his job. Is that what we want them to leave with? No. Titling, fees, all these things. They can say it was a mistake. He just didn't know. He didn't know about the manager tenure. He didn't know about the fees. He didn't know that joint with rights to survivorship was a bad thing to do. He didn't know about these things. You know what? The great thing about the 21-point checklist and the bad thing about the 21-point checklist. The great thing is you don't have to be great at it and it'll work. And Jeff, what's the bad thing?
Well, you don't have to be great at it and it'll work.
Well, why do we say that?
Because sometimes you'll do it wrong and it'll still work and you'll think you did it right, but when you start to run up against harder and harder people, which unfortunately are people that have a lot of money, you know, not doing it right doesn't work.
Yeah. So it's going to work. You're going to see your closing ratio go up significantly just by doing the 21-point checklist, even if they think the guy didn't do it because they didn't know. But if you want to be making more money, see, because what kind of a problem, if he didn't know, is that a small problem, medium problem, or big problem emotionally for the client? Small. Then we get to didn't care. He didn't do this because he didn't care. He didn't get my beneficiaries right because he didn't care about me and my family. He's all about money. Time is money. If it ain't making him money, he doesn't care. He didn't do it on purpose. He just is, you know, sloppy. He only worries about himself. If I don't make enough money for doing it, I won't bother with it. Again, we have all sorts of examples for that. Now, where's that problem emotionally? That's medium. That's medium. You'll close more people that way. If he didn't care, you'll close more people. But a lot of people, when they say, and some people say, that SOB, we're moving. And usually it's the wife that says that. But some people will say, you know, I'm going to go back to that guy and give him a piece of my mind. I'm going to make sure he better start caring. I'm going to fire him, so he better pick up the game. Some people will say that. Some people won't. Some people it's enough and they'll leave. See, some people didn't know it's enough to leave. Then even more people didn't care it's enough to leave. But if we want to get everybody, we have to what? We have to get them to say, you know what? He did this on purpose. He had a vested interest in withholding this information. He knew by not giving me this information that he'd make more money on me. Now, where are we? What kind of a problem is that? That's an insurmountable problem. That's not a big problem. That's a what? That's an insurmountable problem. Because if he is purposely withholding the form, if he is purposely not disclosing something, if he is purposely putting me into something to make more money on me without giving me the whole story, that is what? That's right, Wade. It's a deal breaker. Okay? So with the advisor-ectomy, you have to be good at the motive. You can be great at everything all the way up to the end, and then if you settle for he didn't know and move on to the next thing, guess what? You'll close a lot more people than you would have closed, but you're not going to close everybody. And guy, if you're in front of somebody, you might as well what? Close a lot more than you used to, or close everybody. I want everybody to answer this. Got one answer? Two answers? Come on, guys. Everybody. You already paid to get in front of them. You've already done all the work. Why not close everybody? So if you don't kill that guy and get the motive, what happens if you don't? What happens if they hate their situation but are still okay with their guy? Some people will move because they don't like their situation, but not everybody. And guys, we want to get everybody. Everybody, everybody. And when are you going to find out whether you did it right or wrong? If you do it right, you're going to know immediately. Because if they don't say what they're supposed to say that we have written in red in our crib notes, you know you didn't do the power of attorney right. You know you didn't do the interest rate script right. You know you didn't do the tenure right. You know you didn't do the umbrella right. If they didn't say, you should be finding out after every single crib note whether you're doing it right. But in the end, you're going to find out at the very, very end. And that's right, Andre, when it's too late. And you're right, Mike. They'll never say, I need to think about it, because if you do it right, what have they been doing for the past 2 hours? Thinking about it out loud. Make sense? So here's a disclosure quiz. You should make sure they understand that their investments are not suitable for them. True or false? Yay, false. Everybody's getting that right. False. Because what's not suitable? What should they be figuring out? What's not suitable for them? Their advisor. Because I got a couple of truths there. Their advisor is what's suitable. Because all if they think their investments aren't suitable, who can change their investments, guys? Their current guy. So what we need to be finding out and having them understand is that their advisor is not suitable for them. Number two, If you review their VA with them, that means you can't sell VAs. Is that true or false? False. We're not saying VAs are bad or anything bad. We're saying that what? Your advisor didn't cover these things. So if you cover them, guess what? They could buy them if you can convince them. I think selling a VA or a bond is utterly ludicrous. But if you go through thoroughly the advantages and thoroughly the disadvantages, and they still want it, guess what? Whose money is it? It's theirs. Number 3, you've done your job if they understand all the mistakes their advisor made. True or false? Yay, I'm getting everybody. False, exactly. No, 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 no. It's not about the mistakes their advisor made. It's about the motive for him making those mistakes. How do you know if you did the disclosure meeting correctly? First of all, as Mike said earlier, they don't say I need to think about it. But how do you really know? They're pissed at what, though? Nick, that's right. They're pissed, but pissed at what? Their advisor, they're not pissed because they have $500,000 in B shares. They're not pissed because they got $700,000 in VAs with life insurance they didn't know they bought. They're pissed at what? Their advisor. Then you know you got the deal. Make sense? So again, guys, 5-minute money makers, those 5Q breakdowns, making sure you've mastered the crib notes and the motive, your daily practice of the 15-minute drills and the GOTS, all of these things. That's what you should be doing in August so that when you start marketing, how many of those clients are you going to bring in? Every single one that you want. So I know it's summer. I know the sun's shining. I know it's the golf course is siren is singing its song to you. But dudes, September, October are 2 huge months. Make sure that you're doing what you need to be doing to prep for that, okay? Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Talk to you next Monday.